So much for listening to this episode of Earrings Off. We want to invite you to subscribe, rate, and leave us a review. You can find us on Facebook at Earrings Off Podcast and on Instagram at The Earrings Off Podcast.
Welcome to Earrings Off. I'm Lou.
And I'm Teresa. Let's get started. Welcome to the Earrings Off podcast. Today, Lou and I are honored to host Katharine Giovanni, an inspiring author who has penned over 12 books, including her latest release, The Ultimate Path to Forgiveness, Unlocking Your Power. Katharine's life is a testament to overcoming immense challenges, from battling stage 3 breast cancer to navigating a turbulent childhood, experiences that have given her deep insights into the power of resilience and forgiveness. In this episode, Katharine shares her powerful journey and the invaluable lessons she's learned along the way. Keep listening for a conversation filled with inspiration, empowerment, and the transformative magic of forgiveness. You won't want to miss this. Enjoy.
We have with us today Katharine Giovanni. Katharine, welcome to Earrings Off. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks so much for having me. I appreciate it.
Well, the topic is one we are looking forward to discussing. So we're going to start with what makes your forgiveness method different from everyone else's, Katharine?
The fact that I have a method. Everybody in the world teaches you that you have to forgive. Your minister, your pastor, your parents, your teacher. Nobody teaches you how.
Yeah. Katharine, that's so true.
And what if you don't want to? Then what do you do? On a 10 scale, with 10 being unforgivable dumpster fire and 1 being the easiest person in the world to forgive, everybody listening to this broadcast, including the two of you more than likely, are thinking of your number 10s. The people that are unforgivable. And that's why everybody has a problem with forgiveness, because to be fair, you don't want to forgive the unforgivable because they did something awful. And I'm the only one in the world that's going to tell you, you don't have to forgive the unforgivable. Why? Because there's a lot of people, places, and things that you could forgive before you even get to that dumpster fire.
Well,
please say more,
Katharine.
Hold on a second. I need her to say a little bit more about that.
Okay. When you forgive, just because I forgive you doesn't mean I want a relationship with you. Probably don't. Just because I forgive you doesn't mean I'm giving you a pass, and it doesn't mean that you were right. You're still wrong. You're still awful. You're still a dumpster fire. You know, forgiveness for me means I want you out of my head. I want to stop thinking about you. I want to stop dreaming about you. I want to live my life again. That's what it means.
Okay.
You want them to stop living rent-free in your head. Forgiveness is selfish. You do it for you. You don't do it for them. They're off living their life, being happy, which irritates all of us, I know. You want them to be as miserable as you, right? But they're not. They're living their life. So you want them out of your head, bottom line. And for what it's worth, you can forgive dead people too, because where they are or are not doesn't even matter, because they're living in your head, and that's where you want them out. And I've been sober for 34 years. And when you first get sober, you go to AA and you go to these things and you're supposed to do the steps and you're supposed to reach out and make amends. I was raised, I'm shy. I mean, I'm an extroverted introvert at this point, but I don't want to reach out to anybody. You don't have to talk to anybody when you're doing this method. Nobody has to know. You do it in the privacy of your own home, all by yourself. Needless to say, I want you to start with the easy people, the number ones. The person who cut you off in aisle 5 of the grocery store yesterday. The person who cut you off on I-95. You lost the football game. Forgive the team. There's always somebody you can forgive.
Yeah.
How do you forgive the unforgivable? Is it possible?
Well, it is possible to forgive the unforgivable, sort of. There's another fallacy out there. There's a couple of sayings that really bother me, like I'm going to kill two birds with one stone. Why are you hitting birds with stones? Stop it. They didn't hurt you. I really dislike that saying. And if you want to make people laugh, the next time you hear somebody say that, call them out on it, and it stops people right in their tracks. But the other thing that people say is forgive and forget. No. I don't know anybody who's going to forget. And I'm from New York City originally, and I'm not your girl. I'm not going to forget. I wrote the book on it. There might be a unicorn somebody, Susie Sunshine from Sunnybrook Farms, who's happily forgetting things, but it's not going to happen. But what I can promise is it's going to remove the emotional charge, so you won't care. So when you're dealing with, let's say, an unforgivable person, there's worksheets and stuff all in my book. But, the reason I say people, places, and things is because Einstein, I have a whole chapter on science, but Einstein proved that energy is neither created nor destroyed. When you get angry, it leaves your mouth and it dissipates in the universe. No, it does not. It hangs in your energy field and it stays there until you clear it. And another thing is anger is toxic. Okay. How? Well, there's a Japanese water study by a guy named, and I am not saying his name right, Matsumoto is close, but if you Google Japanese water study, you'll see it. And in the interest of time, I'll say very quickly, he took several containers of water. One container of water, he just spoke to it, said beautiful words, loving words, told it he loved it. The other container of water, he spoke hate, horrible words. Then he froze the water and put it under a microscope. The water that he spoke love to had these beautiful crystal formations. They're right online. They're really pretty. The water he spoke hate to, horrible malformations, black, brown, sludgy looking things. So
I'm so looking that up. You said Japanese water study.
Japanese water study.
I'm looking
that up. Your body is 98% water. So when your self-talk is horrible and you are filled with hate and anger and bitterness, what do you think you're doing to the water molecules within your own body? It's making you sick. You're turning them dark brown and nasty, sludgy things. So that's why the forgiveness is so incredibly important. And the one piece that people don't ever do that I discovered is you need to forgive the energy around people. Einstein also clearly said everything on our planet, including this microphone I have in front of me, has energy around it. So the reason people look at me and say, well, I have forgiven them and I did do the work. You did. 100% you did the work, but you didn't forgive the energy around the person. And that's why they're still floating in your head. So I'm a very simple soul. You don't have to hold crystals unless you want to. You don't have to dance around and sage everything unless, of course, you want to. That's your thing. Go for it. But it's a very simple poem. And it's basically saying, I forgive Teresa. I forgive the energy around Teresa. I forgive myself. I forgive the energy around myself. I forgive the energy around the whole situation. And I do it right before bed. That's part of this system. That's the meat and potatoes of it.
Wow. I love that because I was wondering when you said you forgive the energy, I was sitting here thinking, how do you do that? And you explained what you do. Okay, wow. Katharine, if you forgive, does it mean that you're saying that they're right?
No, it doesn't. Forgiveness is selfish. You're doing it for you. Just because I forgive you doesn't mean I'm telling you you were right. They're not. They're still wrong. They're still horrible. I'm doing it because I want them out of my head. I want to stop thinking about you. And when I go on Facebook and I see your name on Facebook, I want to stop thinking bad things about you. Come on, we all go on Facebook and we see our childhood bully or our ex, and we see that they broke their leg, and you're thinking, karma.
Well, yes. Well, yes,
we not exactly upset about that.
Yeah, not really.
Right? But using this system, it will allow you to not do that. Now, why do I call the unforgivables a dumpster fire? Because there's people, places, and things that you can forgive. If you can't forgive, let's say, the bully, and you can't even bring yourself to forgive the energy around the bully, maybe because it's an unforgivable act. There are things in this world and people who are 100% unforgivable. Unforgivable. And you don't have to forgive the person. but there's other things within that memory that you can forgive. You can forgive the building where it happened and the energy around the building. You can forgive the table, the bed, the chair, the day. You can forgive the energy around this. You can forgive the people who stood around and didn't help. I forgave 1974.
Why? Are you going to
Why
tell
did
us?
I forgive 1974? I
Yeah.
was in the 8th grade,
Uh-huh.
and my parents were very pickled people. They were alcoholics and getting a horrible divorce. I was getting really bullied in school very badly, and I tried to commit suicide. So I forgave all the players in the year. I did forgive my childhood home. I did forgive the dining room table where we got lectured. I forgave all these things, but it was still hanging in my head. And I finally realized, what if I forgive the year that it happened? So I forgave 1974 and the energy around it. You can forgive anything. You can forgive politicians, dare I say. You can forgive the war in the Middle East if you want to. What's it going to do for the war in the Middle East? Not a darn, not a thing, but it's going to really help you.
Oh,
You
I
got
see.
angry because your football team lost. Forgive
Mhm.
the football team. You got angry at something you saw on the news. Just turn it on, people. I mean, just turn any. I mean, just anything
Yeah.
will get you mad. You can forgive that stuff too. And
Mhm.
if you find if there's a listener who says I can't forgive it all, then I just want you to say I completely forgive myself for not being able to forgive and the energy around this thought, and do that every day for a week. And this
Mhm.
stuff is like an onion, and it's going to take that first layer of the onion off. And your
Mhm.
brain is such an amazing tool. And it's going to look at you and say, "Ooh, Teresa, you started the process. I'm going to open one of the closets back here because there's a movie playing in the back of your head and you don't even know it's there. And it's going to start spitting memories out at you.
Mhm.
So
Wow.
I'm going to have you sit down with a pad of paper and a pen, or if you're a young person, your phone, that's fine. I don't really care. But I want you to write down all the people you think you need to forgive. And then I want you to rate them from 1 to 10. And you can have 7 number fives if you want to. I don't care. You could skip a number. It's all good to me. But I want you to start with the number ones and
Mhm.
slowly move your way up, and don't do more than 10 at a time. And do it right
And
before bed because your body heals itself when it's sleeping.
but Catherine, when you're talking about forgiveness, it's not a requirement that you interact with the person, that you invite
No,
them back in your life or
no.
any of that. Okay.
They never have to know. But people are going to know because you're going to start to look better. Your energy field is going to get softer. People are going to feel the energy. You can walk into a room, a lot of people, I'm one of them, and it feels off. You just don't know why. It just feels off. Your energy field is going to get softer, and they're going to look at you and say, Lou, did you get a haircut, or did you lose some weight, or you have a new outfit? There's something different about you today. And you could decide to either tell them or not. Now, Jim
Mhm.
Rohn has a very famous quote out there that says, "You are the sum of the 5 people you spend the most time with." So as you do this, people are probably, some people, including family members, might leave your life
Mm,
because their friend is leaving, their family member, they liked you angry, they liked the person, and if you
Mm.
change, you're turning into somebody else. So they're going to do one of 3 things. They're either going to leave, or they're going to sabotage it, or they're going to change with you.
Wow. Okay.
But when they leave, who was it? Maya Angelou said, when somebody shows you who they really are, believe them the first
Believe
time.
them. Yeah.
yes,
So if they
that's right.
leave your life, let them
Yeah.
go.
Let them
Let them
Yeah.
go.
go. And if they're a
Yeah.
narcissist, really let them go. Oh, I know how to
Yeah.
talk to narcissists. I could teach you that in 3 seconds flat. You just keep the conversation on them. There you go. Class over.
Yeah. Yeah.
So a person who forgave will look different, right? You
Yeah,
mentioned
you will
that.
feel different. Coffee will smell better. Even in the first, when you do the ones, twos, and threes, you're going to feel different. The law of forgiveness is like the law of gravity. It's going to work whether you believe it in or not. You can call the law of forgiveness the law of keeping Teresa on the ground. It doesn't care. It's going to still work. I don't believe in the law of forgiveness or the law of gravity. Okay, but it doesn't care. It's still going to work. So
Right.
even if it doesn't feel like it's worked, it will work. When my older son did it, he called me up. He's in his 30s, and he said, my shoulders felt lighter. And he said, this is weird. That's just not logical, because he couldn't wrap his brain. He's a federal law enforcement officer. And he said, I don't understand why my shoulders feel lighter. yet it did. A lot of people get tired. That's why I want you to do it before bed. But do as I say, not as I do. I'm an overachiever. I've written 12 books and I go through things and I write about them. I went through cancer. I wrote about it. I wrote my list and I wrote like, let's say 50 people on the list. And I thought, this is going to be great. I'm going to be like a phoenix rising from the ashes. I'm going to wake up tomorrow morning and I'm going to be a brand new person and all that junk is going to be behind me. Didn't work out the way I thought because I spent the next 3 days in bed with what everybody thought was a stomach flu. It wasn't the stomach flu. It was those water cells I was talking about in your body. They needed to go someplace and I forgave too many people. So my body had to take 3 days to play catch up. I'd like you to do it right before bed and try and do anywhere from 3 to 10 a night and you should be fine. You're probably going to be really tired. But if you do end up in the bathroom, you didn't eat bad fish. It's just your body getting rid of those cells and the anger.
Wow. So you know it works because you feel lighter and people say
Yeah.
you look better, they notice. And that's how you know that it's worked. What
Well,
if
you also can look at somebody's name and you don't care. You can look at
ah,
That's the
you can
thing.
go on
okay.
Facebook and see your business partner who you fill out or your ex-husband or ex-wife or whatever, and you could see their face on Facebook and you won't care. When
Okay.
that happened to me, I was actually stunned because I saw the face and I thought, I don't care. Done. I'm looking for neutrality. I'm looking for you not to care. That's what I want. That's what I'm looking for.
Yes. Like Lou alluded to earlier, I'm always thinking that if you forgive a person, that means you let them back. You
Mm-mm.
let them back in your life. I love this method.
Why would I want them back?
I know, but that's what we thought. I mean, that's what we've been taught,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. That's
Mm.
why, everybody says you need to forgive, but nobody teaches you how. But they throw these platitudes at you and
Yeah, yeah,
there's passages in the Bible. Jesus says, how many times should you
yeah,
forgive? 70
yeah,
times seven, I believe he says, which
yeah.
means do it a lot. And there's another passage in there that says, yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I should fear no evil. Okay. He's saying, don't build a house in the valley. Don't have lunch in the valley. You want to walk through it. So when you're doing forgiveness, you can look back at your life. I'm only asking you to go back one more time and forgive it. So now when I look back at my childhood, I don't really see the anger anymore. And I was a walking billboard. I was one of those kids, not kidding. But I can look back into my life and I see pockets of love there. And I could see the adults that were trying to help me. Didn't see them before, but now I can see them. And now I can forgive myself. Forgiving yourself
Mm,
is often the hardest person.
yeah,
Often
yeah,
you are your own number 10. And
yeah.
that's a journey right there to forgive yourself for something you've done.
Wow.
Wow. This is
Hmm.
amazing.
Yeah, yeah. Very, very good stuff. And thank you for being specific in terms of what to do as you work through this method. Katharine, where can folks buy your book? And tell us a bit about that.
You can go to Amazon. I do understand that most people don't want to read, which is actually why I give the method on every podcast I go on, because I want this method to get out. I want people to teach it. I want people to do it because our world is so broken. But if you want to read the book or listen to the book, my younger son and I did the audiobook and we're still speaking to each other, so yay for us. But you can go to Amazon, the ebook, the audiobook, and the paperback is there. You can go to my website. I have private sessions and all sorts of stuff. And my first name, thanks to my mother, is spelled a little bit strangely.
I
Thanks,
saw
Mom.
that.
It's Katharine Giovanni.com, and all the stuff is in there too, including all the
Okay.
books that I've written. I wrote a book on cancer. I wrote a book called The Little Bird in Your Shoulder that teaches you how to trust your intuition and, that kind of stuff.
Okay. Well, Katharine, thank you so much for joining us here today on Earrings Off. Lots of great information, and we appreciate you taking the time out of your schedule. Do you have any parting words for our audience you care to share at this point?
I do. And it's mostly for the women listening. I just want everybody to know you are worthy. You are worthy to live a life of joy. You are worthy to live a life of happiness. It's your birthright. You are worthy. And maybe you have gotten off the path because you're angry and bitter at stuff that's happened to your life, and that's completely fair. But once you forgive, you can become that authentic person, and you can become the person you came down here to be. But know this is your birthright. We're not meant to live in a refrigerator box in the street. You are worthy to live this life.
Okay. Wow. Well, again, thank you so much, Katharine, for joining us here today at Earrings Off. We wish you all the best. Take good care.
Thanks so much.